It's February 13th, 2023. I'm back over here at Corona Del Mar Middle School and High School. I'm going to be doing 8th grade today and I believe 10th grade. I'm going to be doing physics, which isn't the strongest suit, but at least it's science, so excited to be here again. Second time subbing. Well, I'm inside the building right here, and apparently it's late start today, and so Frontline was wrong, and it told me to be here by 8. I got here around 7:40, and it's like school doesn't start until I forget, like 9 something, and then my teacher that I'm subbing for has prep periods, so I'm not going to start till like 10, so I have like 2 to 3 hours to just wait, I guess. But at least I'm here and I finally found the place. Boy, this entire room is taking me back to my Physics 125 class and lab that I had like 4.5 years ago, fall of 2018, over at Orange Hills College. So yeah, physics, electricity, magnetism, resistors, capacitors, induction, all that stuff. So anyway, but as I say, physics wasn't my strong suit, and science, chemistry was. So I have my degrees are in chemistry and biochemistry. Physics, I could put on the suit, just not really comfortably, so I know a bit of physics, but I could put on like the chemistry suit, no problem. So I've been here for approximately an hour and a half. I'm all set up inside the classroom here. It's about an hour before my first class starts, and this is going to be my incentive today, the envelope trick. And yes, I was sitting here the whole time, I couldn't resist. And that's it, the entire day is already done and over with, and I would admit it was quite talkative throughout the day here and there. Fifth period was the absolute best, amazing. It was completely silent, they were on task and working. Kind of brought me back to my mentor teacher's class over at Ensign, like her AVID periods and especially her enhanced math periods were very silent and on task, and the other students were great too. Nevertheless, and I had like a mixed, it was mostly 8th graders, but a couple of them were like physics classes, and they were like ranged from like 10th to 12th graders, so a few of them are graduating in a few months, and I graduated 1 decade ago, class of 2013, at Newport Harbor High School. They all enjoyed the magic trick, the birthday trick, and of course I say magic in quotes like I always do, and a couple of instances I had just a few extra seconds, so it's like, okay, here's juggling for you. So they all enjoyed it. It was an excellent day here. About to turn in my stuff, and then I have class in less than like 45 minutes at Vanguard. It's Valentine's Day 2023. I'm over here at TeWinkle Middle School again, substituting another math class, and going to be teaching a little bit of systems of equations, their solutions, and for the honors, exponential functions. Well, inside this wonderful classroom here, and I found this place. I know this is the 3rd time I'm here, and hopefully no one blames me. I'm still orienting myself around, okay? I went to room 14. I went all around the campus to go to room 14. Apparently that was the key number. Person comes by and says, "Oh, are you subbing for this class today?" I said, "Yes." I said the last name, and she said, "Oh no, she's room 6. I'm like, "It says 14. She says the key number." I'm like, she said, "Don't worry, I'd make the same mistake too. She's over there, the room number is 6, and I just looked at the top right corner and such." Well, anyway, I found this place. I'm still learning as a teacher, but anyway. And not to mention, as I was walking all around, it was like 53 degrees Fahrenheit. But the teacher whom I talked to kind of gave me reassuring words that her Math 8 students are very good. And I'm like, okay, that's reassuring. And then I said, well, I just got math credential, a student taught over at Ensign. And I have my numbers envelope tricks for each period if they earn it. Well, so far so good. First period was something, but I'll explain that. But right now it's her prep period, following lunch, and then following 2 more periods. The next one's the honor students, Algebra 1, and followed by another Math 8 class. First period was quite something, I would say to date. It's perhaps the most challenging, or one of the most challenging set of students that I've ever subbed for in my life, outside of 1 period at Costa Mesa Middle School / High School last May. And the reason why, it's like the first time ever that I've actually been thrown things at, actually 2 things at 2 different times. So a couple of students thrown stuff at me and everything. I've felt it on my neck, and one missed my face, but other than that, I mean, like, half or under half were good, of course, and then the other half I just had to put some more SEL, social emotional learning strategies and such. At the very end, like right at the very end of class, I wanted to give my full analogy of not giving up and everything, and I did get to say it as everyone was barreling out the door, and I was trying to say like don't give up on your passions and everything. It was okay, I guess, overall. Second period was okay, just a little bit talkative, but they were very good. Third period, thanks to another teacher that came in here who like co-teaches third period, I got to teach the class. The class was kind of dead silent while she was in here and engaging with the material, and it's like, okay, this is an opportunity to get them engaging and to explain like how to combine like terms and like the fact that like 3xy squared is the same as 3y squared x, or 3y squared is the same as 3yy and all that. So anyway, and then fourth period, which just happened, was even a bit more impeccable than second period. Second period and fourth period were very, very good during the lecture portion and such, silent and on task, so I'm very proud of them for that. And needless to say, second and fourth period did get the magic trick incentive. Person multiplied three digit numbers together, written it on the board, opened the envelope that I sealed 2 days ago, and they cannot believe how I did that. I do it very carefully. Also, there were a few students who remembered me from juggling at Ray Elementary School. I think all of them remembered me from juggling, not really substituting, which I only did once. They remember me juggling for my former 4th grade teacher who moved to Ray Elementary after she taught me at Newport Heights. And one of them said, yeah, it was the same day that you announced your book being published and everything. So they all remember my juggling. I'm very appreciative that I've made such a difference in that way, and that they remember me. And that also reminded me real quick that yesterday at Corona Del Mar High School / Middle School, at least one, probably a couple of students remembered me from Ray Elementary. Like at least one of them said, didn't you go to Ray or juggle at Ray? And so she remembered me. And my number one hope is that they will get something out of it, just like at anywhere else that I sub at, anywhere that I volunteer in an assembly at, like at California Elementary, which is actually right adjacent to TeWinkle. Last June 9th, I juggled and gave all my analogies and encouragements. Same thing with Shepherd Elementary School last Tuesday, a week ago today, where I juggled for and spoke to like 425 students. That's like the estimate amount of students. Also yesterday, I got an email from the principal at College Park Elementary in Irvine Unified School District, wondering if I could come and juggle for them, thanks to a Royal Ranger who really was eager for me to come and speak and juggle at his school. And he had me write down my information, and he ended up giving that to the principal, and the principal emailed me and asking if I could do an assembly there. And I gave a long, thorough email about who I am, and that I would be more than happy to do so, to volunteer at an assembly to encourage, to motivate all the students. And also I added that my long-term goal is to ultimately do that for every single school of every single district known, I guess. So that's my heart and everything. And in the meantime, I just do what I can, employing SEL and encouragements to everywhere that I sub at, taking good use, or making good use of the time that I am allotted at the very end to make a difference, to speak life to these students. So anyway, I'm about halfway done, and I can't wait for the other half. Algebra should take me back at home, because that was what I did my student teaching in at Ensign, was honors algebra, or like enhanced math they call it, and it was 9th grade level algebra. Another thing real quick is that a student apparently randomly asked me like who's our 25th president. So I just gave the entire biography of William McKinley and such, and then other students heard that, and then after one of the periods he came with a friend real quick just to ask me who was our 35th president. Gave the biography of JFK. So anyway, I guess I'm starting to get known here too, that I have all the presidents memorized, their birthdays, death dates, numbers, term dates, all that. And speaking about that, next week is President's Week. And that's it. The day went very terrific. The last two periods were amazing, especially period 6, the honors or enhanced mathematics, algebra 1. It really brought me back to my mentor teacher's classroom. over at Ensign Intermediate, participating, engaged, silent, just all good things. And then 7th period was very good as well. So very happy to be here, especially after first period. But again, anytime that stuff like this happens, I immediately think, well, what's my purpose of being here? Not just to teach or sub, but also to speak life to students and to encourage them and everything. And that always just boosts me up. So I really didn't really have like hard feelings or anything like that. It's just I felt, you know, I have a mindset where if stuff like that happens, this is where I belong. If stuff like this doesn't happen, I still believe this is where I belong. And it's a day-by-day thing with me. I just don't know what I'm going to get every class or every classroom that I sub for. But you know, I'm glad that I was here today. And yeah, I've nobody ever thrown anything at me before, but hopefully that was the last time. But regardless, I'm thankful that I was here and to offer any encouragements that I can, especially to period 1. And more students remembered me, recognized me from Ray Elementary, juggling for them and everything. And I also ran into that same substitute teacher whom I met at Ensign. So all 3 times that I was here, I always ran into him. So we're happy to see each other again, and sometimes exchange stories of like how our subbing adventures and days been going. Other than that, it was an excellent Valentine's Day and everything, and can't wait till next time, see if I'll be anywhere tomorrow. It's February 16th, 2023. I'm over here at Kaiser for the 2nd time substituting, and also I came here for 2 summers 20 years ago, or over 20 years ago, back in the summer of 2001, 2002. So I'm very excited to be here again. I'm here inside the classroom. The bell's about to ring in about a minute. I just read through the sub notes. Looks like it's going to be a very good class today. So far, so wonderful. It's good to be back here at Kaiser. The students are excellent. There's a couple of instructional aides here. Well, they kind of been traded off. So there's one who came at the beginning and another one who is staying here for the rest of the day. Everything's excellent. They couldn't believe the rope magic tricks, so there's more coming. I'm actually next door to the person that I'm going to be subbing for on March 2nd, according to the current plans. And then one door beyond her is the teacher whom I subbed for the first time I subbed here back on May 31st, if I remember correctly. Small world. Boy, this is actually getting fun. It's lunchtime now, and we just had a powerful assembly. Very nice assembly. Talented storytellers. They were reenacting stories written by students here. There's 4 of them. It's called the Imagination Machine. Very talented, very funny, and comical. And then we came back here, and it was math time, and I'm like, yay! I just got a math credential and such. So they're doing like fractions and such. They're doing things on an assignment in Schoology. So I just wandered around and helped out the best I could. After which I did the envelope trick where they multiplied 3 three-digit numbers, and I think that was the loudest I've ever heard students scream. Anyway, and then I took them out to lunch, and one of them asked if he could show me a card trick. And so I gave him the deck of cards, and I'm like, okay, I'm interested in seeing it. So a few of his buddies came around and showed me the card trick, and he got my card. So he's also very good at card tricks as well. And then I showed a card trick, a brief one. And let's just say, from the lunch tables all the way back here, I kept on hearing, like, how did he do that or something. They kept on talking about it and such. So, and I still have the cards trick as an incentive later on, and the juggling too. So far so good. I really enjoy being here. Very excellent class. They're very, very nice and everything. So glad that I'm here. And I also got to meet the teacher I'm subbing for next door on March 2nd. And I got to meet the other teacher next to her, whom I subbed for last May. And I've got to get this out because I'm probably going to lose sleep over it. I thought the sub note said 10:50 was when lunch ended and such, but it was 10:40. 10:50 was when the assembly started, and it was like 10:54. I'm like, okay, I have 6 minutes. I look at the whiteboard and it said 10:40, and I rush outside there and I go back to the playground, and I'm like looking all around. It's like I don't recognize anybody. Can't recognize anybody. I'm like spinning in circles. Okay, not literally, but you know, in my mind. And all of a sudden, I'm looking this way, and I hear a whole bunch of children saying, over here, and so I rush over there. I'm like this, and they keep on telling me, it's okay, and such, but I'm like, I'm sorry, guys. But I'm like, probably never let that happen again, but anyway. And that's the conclusion to an amazing day. It was excellent being here, and like the day started out where students are walking in freezing, like, oh, what's going on here? And where's the teacher and everything? I'm like, I'm the sub and such. And it ended with a lot of students really appreciating my help, support, teaching, and all the tricks and such, juggling and all the magic tricks, quote unquote. And they continued to scream louder and louder. And at the very end of the day, I'm like, this is one of the best classes I've ever subbed for. And let's just say that they really appreciated me saying that. They were very silent all throughout the day, except for, I mean, it did get talkative a few times, of course. And the chemistry lesson was phenomenal. I finally got to teach about the states of matter through their science book, and that was very fun. I got to teach what I've been working on for over a decade, as well as interjected what I know of chemistry, because I have a degree in chemistry and biochemistry, so it's all about physical change, chemical change, as well as the states of matter and how they change, evaporation, condensation, sublimation, all that fun stuff and such. And I got to interject some questions and teacher to student type questions, so like, what about this and all that, and it was very fun. I got to pull out things that I did in chemistry lab or as examples, such as there was a time when I mixed two things and it became hot. It looked the same, but it became hot. What type of change is that? Or I talked about, like precipitation reactions. I've mixed two reagents together and there was a solid precipitate in there. Okay, what happened there and such. All at a 5th grade level, of course, but it was fun teaching them math shortcuts and such. I taught them the 100 to 109, multiplying two numbers within that range math shortcuts. By lunchtime, a lot of people were finding out that I'm a magician, quote unquote, or tricksician, like I do card tricks and such. And there was also this rainbow that was over the sun, or around the sun. And so I started to give a little lessons about refraction of light and how rainbows form and such. And later, another student came up to me saying like, so what causes that and such. So I got to give my lesson a few times. I guess they overheard that I knew the cause of the rainbow. But whether it was science or whether it was tricks, a lot of students appreciated that. There were a couple times during lunch where students either found out that I was going to sub for this teacher on March 2nd, or they asked me to sub for them because they heard about me and magic tricks and all that, I assume. And regardless, they were all happy. Like, students were happy when I said, yeah, I'll be here on March 2nd subbing for this teacher, and they're very jumping and excited. A couple times today, a couple of students asked if I was going to be here tomorrow. I already have a sub job lined up tomorrow. And tons of students started to groan at that point. And a couple of those students were younger siblings of those whom my student taught and also substituted at Ensign Intermediate School, and then a few more had friends or family members over at Ensign. A couple of whom I remember their birthday, like your brother born on this day, right? Your sister born on that day, right? And again, there's just something with me and the associations and numbers and math and dates and birth dates. I just can't really explain it. Unfortunately, I can't remember every single date, but I remember probably 80-90% of them at least. And one of them was the son of one of the principals in the district whom I met, I believe, back in 2019. And speaking about principals, on the way back to the office, I got to run into the principal again, and I got to tell her about Shepherd Elementary School and asked if there was perhaps any way that I could come to do an assembly. And we talked after that about how much time I would need and what I would be talking about, all my encouragements and analogies. And she absolutely loved my message and would love to have that happen one day. So she said that she'll talk it through the leadership, and hopefully that will happen. I get to go and do assemblies. That'd be very fun, and especially the rewarding part is that it encourages and entertains everybody, and that's what my heart is. So that's all I remember from this big, extraordinary, fun day, and I can't wait for March 2nd to return here. And I'm going to be at Eastbluff tomorrow subbing 6th grade. So I'll see you in a few seconds. It is February 17th, 2023, and I'm concluding this great week over here at Eastbluff Elementary School, subbing for 6th grade today. Very excited. Second time here. Here I am inside this wonderful classroom. They just had flag deck, and afterward my class went over to music, so they'll be there for 40 minutes. Flag deck was amazing. Tons of students got tons of awards, and then they sang "This Land Is Your Land." Everything, the verses and the chorus, which literally brought me back to all of my 7 years of elementary school, literally. And before flag deck, a few students from the class I subbed for on January 27th, the 4th grade class came up to me. They remember me, they said hi. I got to meet the teacher, and she was happy to meet me and said that she's heard wonderful things about me. Her class keeps on asking her if I could come back and sub. Also, one of the students in this class in the NPR, before I left, asked me if I juggle, and I'm like, okay, bye, see you later, and such. And of course, music class was starting, but I guess she must have found out that I'm a juggler. And as always, a few students were commenting how tall I am, and so I reached up and was able to touch the ceiling. And so anyway, about today, looking over the sub notes, it looks like it's going to be a half easy and half inquisitive day, if that makes sense. So they have a social studies test, it looks like, before recess, a math test after recess, and then the rest of the day is just like a movie and lunch in the middle. But talking about exams, when I walked in here, I saw the math packets and it said end of unit assessment. And I'm like, no, I can't teach math because assessments and quizzes and tests and all that, I can't like help out or anything like that, like how to get to the answer or teach. But oh well, I guess Fridays are test days, because last time I was here on a Friday there was like 4 quizzes like in a back to back before recess. But anyway, I love math. And that's it, a conclusion to an excellent day. I enjoyed being here. A lot of students in the past and even current are hoping that I'd come back to Eastbluff again, along with staff and other teachers too. By the end of the day, everyone was wanting me to show everyone card tricks and birthday tricks, and just couldn't figure out how I did all that, so I was almost drawing a crowd at the end of the day. It's the Friday before a week break, so next week is President's Week, and there's no school, so I will probably make good use of that time getting all my master's papers and all the mountains of chapters that I have to read done, and all the reports I need to do, and also my presentations, PowerPoints, and all that. I get to do that this weekend and all next week. And so this is a remarkable conclusion to another remarkable day. By the end of the day, a couple of students said that I was the best sub. A person written that on the board saying best sub ever over there. And even at the very beginning of the class, like when I was introducing myself and doing the role and all that, they asked if I could sub every day or something like that, and was kind of saying that their previous sub wasn't as nice, I guess. And I strive to be a nice sub, rewarding good behavior when necessary, and they seem to like it. So thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope that these videos will encourage aspiring teachers that you could do it if you set your mind to it. Disability or not, anybody could do whatever they set their heart and mind to do. Thank you again for watching this video, and I'll catch you in the next one.